Good afternoon and welcome to the today's webinar on our launch of our new partnership program for plumbers. My name is Michael Stallings. I'm the Senior Vice President here at Capital Distribution and wanted to welcome you to the webinar and thank you for coming on. So a little bit about me and us here at Capital. For the past 20 years, I've worked hard to find solutions for both plumbers that we've worked with and their clients, solutions to their everyday problems. And I think that's very important because that's kind of what the goal is here every day of what we do at Capital Distribution. We're here to find solutions and address concerns, and whether that means implementing a product or simply good practices, it's a very important part of our mindset here. It's something we strive to achieve every single day. And today's initiative that we're going to talk about, our new Platinum Partner Program, kind of falls in those same guidelines. You know, one of the big issues that plumbers like yourselves today face is, you know, being able to juggle multiple balls and be able to, you know, obviously, you know, having enough solid employees has always been a big thing. Also finding the time to do certain jobs, try new initiatives, so on and so forth. So today we're going to talk about this program and what we feel is going to be a game changer for you guys in terms of bringing a really solid solution to your clients. So in case you're not too familiar with us, you can always go to our website and see a little bit more. This is our homepage here at getsmartvalve.com. And, as you'll basically, obviously, you guys would click the plumbers there. And, we kind of break everything down based on what is important to each classification. But we do focus a lot on plumbers and helping you guys bring these solutions to your clients. So we want to start today with talking about what's the core process or what are the core values of our PPP program, which is the Plumber Partnership Program. And in this case, it'll be the Platinum one. So our first thing is we want to help you boost your revenue. And that's one of the core things that this program will do, making you become the hero to both your current and any potential new clients. Filling in gaps in your schedule, which we'll talk a little bit about. And I know many of you will probably laugh at that and say, well, gee, I'm so busy, I can't, but there always is that one day of the week most of you run across where it's a little slower. So we want to make sure that you're keeping those gaps scheduled. And the main reason why this program is such a game changer is all we're going to ask you guys to do is just basically install the product and collect the check. We're going to show you how we're going to take care of the rest of everything regarding this solution that we're going to talk about and how we partner with you to bring it to your clients. So before, one of the big, or a few questions I should say, that if I was in your shoes as a plumber, why would I join any type of partnership program? Does this program solve a need or a problem that's out there in the world today? And if so, what's the solution to that problem? And then how, as my partner, are you going to help us? And probably the most important part of this whole thing is here, what does this mean for your business? How is this going to help your business? So first, is there an issue in the world that, or an issue with your clients or that your clients have that needs to be solved? And yes, there's a very major issue, whether we're talking about homeowners but specifically commercial properties, is the rising cost of water and sewer. And this graph kind of illustrates that. And it only goes up to 2020 because the data is still a little sketchy moving forward. But since 2020, especially with COVID, and now, of course, with the rise in inflation over the last year or two. But as you can see here from the graph, in the last 10 years or so, the cost of water and sewer has gone up over 80% between 2009 and 2020 anyway. And if you really, there's not too much solid data for the last couple of years, but that number is probably well over 100%. So we're talking about 100% increase in water and sewer costs over the last 11 or 12 years. So there certainly is a problem. And when you compare it to other items, such as food prices and basically everything else, it's almost 4 to 5 times as much of an increase as compared to those items. So some of the key facts about water and sewer, as I mentioned, has risen over 80% in the last 10 years or so. Another important factor is makes up nearly 30% of all commercial utility costs today. In the past, any type of buildings, usually it was always about, the focus was on electric. How do we reduce our energy costs there? But now water and sewer is becoming a much bigger part of the line item, so to speak, for a commercial property. What we've seen over the last 10 years is, on average, it's been at least 5% increase every single year. Another key point, for a building that's spending $10,000 a month today on water and sewer, for that same usage, over the next 10 years, they're going to be spending close to $18,000 a month. And that's only if it averages a 5% increase per year. And as I mentioned, also, it's estimated the water and sewer costs have more than doubled in the last 12 years, based on some of the preliminary data from 2021, 2022. So we've identified a problem, And today we're going to talk about a solution before we get into the actual partnership program, because this is the solution that we would be partnering on. And it's called the Smart Valve. And I know many of you on the call many of you are already clients of ours and have partnered with us on other programs, which we'll talk about as well. But to give those who don't know what this solution is a little background on it. So the Smart Valve is a USA made device. It's available in sizes from 3/4 inch up to 12 inch, so both residential and commercial. Can be installed horizontally or vertically, as you can see here from some of the pictures. Comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty from the manufacturer. So what is the Smart Valve? And we actually call it here the Smart Valve solution because it's well, number one, we know Moen has what's called a Smart Valve, and they actually came out with that after this product. This product's been available since 2010, but we also call it because it is a solution. It's not just another product. It's not just something that, as a plumber, you deal with a lot of products every day. You're dealing with PRVs, you're dealing with supply lines, you're dealing with sinks, faucets, angle stops, the list goes on and on and on. And they are a means to an end, but this is actually something that solves a problem. So what it does, it is a water saving device, but more importantly, it's a money saving device. And what it does is it corrects a mistake that almost every meter out there makes, is they don't distinguish between water and air. They only count volume. And what the Smart Valve does is it's installed on the user side of the meter, after the meter, as you can see from some of these pictures here. And it keeps the water flowing through the meter at a stable pressure. Typically, for example, if you have a 80 psi coming in from the street, whenever you get a call or demand for water, you get a pressure drop at the meter. And when that happens is the meter can overspin. There could be some chaos within the line there. And also any air that's present in the line will expand. And when those pockets of air pass through the meter, they're going to register, because these meters don't distinguish between the two. They only count volume. And what the Smart Valve does is it acts kind of like a toll booth, and it keeps the pressure at a sustained level between it and the meter. So if it's 80 psi coming in from the street, it's going to maintain that at about 80 psi at the meter. So when you maintain the pressure and you don't get those drops that we're talking about when you get demand, it's actually going to make sure there's a laminar flow through the meter, nice, cool, calm, and collected, and the water just flows through. It's not going to remove any air that's present in the line, but it is going to keep it compressed. So they're very tiny little particles. So when they pass through the meter, they're not going to register anymore. And when you accomplish that, you're looking at savings typically between 15 and 25%. And those that don't fall in that bracket tend to save even more than that. We've seen as high as 60%, as we'll show you in a few minutes here. This is kind of summing up what I just mentioned here. It maintains a pressurized column of water upstream past the meter, prevents the pressure drop caused by user demand from reaching the meter, and therefore preventing air volume from increasing at the meter. Eliminates turbulence, overspinning of the meter, and sudden surges, typically on, off, on, off. A lot of times, especially in commercial applications, you get those sudden, quick demands. First thing in the morning, everybody's showering. The entire building is showering between, let's say, 6 and 8 a.m. And then it could calm down for a while. But, typically you get those sudden on-offs, and those actually trigger higher inaccuracies within the meter. But it also keeps the flow rate within the range that the meter was designed, so that it's operating accurately, which is another important factor of this. Some of the key points of the Smart Valve, and a few of them I mentioned already, but since we've been promoting the solution for about 7 to 8 years now, and I can tell you that over 70% of our users save at least 20% on their water and sewer usage, and over 98% save at least 10%. From our in-house perspective, our goal is to get every single client to at least 15%. And part of what we bring to the table is we troubleshoot that. If for some reason we have a customer initially that's not at that 15% savings, we're going to find out why. We're going to do some investigating in terms of, how was the valve installed? Where is it adjusted to? So on and so forth, but also review their bills and make sure we are looking at an accurate result here. It mentions it's available in sizes 3/4 inch up to 12 inch. Up to 2 inch, it's a double female thread, so it's a much easier install. 3 inch and 4 inch, or 3 inch and up, I should say, are flanged. But there is, many of you are aware that, for example, Viga makes, and other companies too, but Viga makes if you're utilizing ProPress, they do make a flange to pipe setup, so makes it or keeps the install somewhat simple, even at those sizes. And then the larger ones, obviously, you're looking at a different setup. Also, the 8 inch and above are stainless steel, so that's another going to be a little sturdier, because when you're getting to those sizes, you want something a little sturdier than. And these are sturdy, by the way. You've seen some of the pictures already. We're not downplaying that. I'm just saying for the 8 inch and above, they're stainless steel. What is most attractive about this solution is the return on investment, specifically for commercial properties. Normally, and this is based on 20% savings, you're looking at less than a year for a return on investment. And, one of the running, not really a joke because it's actually true, is, if you had asked somebody today to hand you $100 with the promise that you're going to give them back between $400 and $1,200 over the next 10 years, it sounds like a pretty good investment. And that's essentially what the Smart Valve solution is bringing to the table, is a very fast return on investment and helping your clients stay ahead of the curve of rising water sewer costs. Because as we mentioned, the costs have been going up at least 5% every year for some time now. USA made, 10-year manufacturer's warranty, as I mentioned. We offer a 90-day money-back guarantee. And why do we do that? Because most people are very satisfied with the results. Out of over 25,000 of these sold, we've had, at last count, again, this is pretty accurate, 14 out of 25,000 sold so far. Outer shell is constructed of acetron. Inner parts are food-grade stainless steel. It's approved in Massachusetts and New York City, which any plumbers on the call today that are familiar with that or work in those locales know that getting products on there are very difficult to get approved. I believe ProPress, the last place in the entire country it was approved was New York City. So that gives you kind of an idea. And I was involved in the call to get this approved in New York City, and it was a painful process. It took about a year to get it approved. So has the NSF and ANSI certifications for potable water. The other important part of this is that the valve is externally adjustable. Now, what does that mean exactly? Well, the more as you adjust it, you want to adjust this to a custom fitting, or custom setting, I should say, because every building is different, right? Every home is different, no matter whether you're putting it in a residential application or a commercial application. You want to make sure that you're getting it to the sweet spot, so to speak. And not only is that important for results, but also if anything changes within the building, if there's any, or God forbid, there's like a water main break and you need to reduce the valve down, you can adjust this without shutting off the water. Once it's installed, it's very much a set it and forget it product, but you can actually make adjustments to it without shutting the building down because everything is external. It's on the larger sizes, 3 inch and up. It's a simple Allen key and a pair of pliers is all you really need to adjust it. So even if they have a maintenance staff there, if they ever need to adjust it, they can also do that as well. You don't have to go back out there. It's a pretty simple adjustment. It also can be set where there's very minuscule reduction in PSI. So that's the beauty of this as well. Whether there's low pressure or high pressure, you can and there's a large range with where you can set it. In fact, if you set the larger commercial ones to the high setting, it will almost shut the water off to the building. So you have a large range and you're able to customize the fit so that it gives them the best results. It's also a self-lubricating valve, meaning that anything that's getting through the meter is going to get through the smart valve. So you don't have to worry about it clogging or anything along those lines. As I mentioned, no maintenance involved, very much a set it and forget it product. Once it's installed, there's no additional work, but it is removable. It is reusable. So if you had a homeowner want to take one with them to their new home and so on and so forth. But it also, by adding this into the building, you're actually increasing the property value of both either a home or a commercial property. For us, from our standpoint, and for what it should be important for you guys and girls on the call, have been the results. And the lowest reported result we've seen in the last 4 years has been 14%. Highest has been almost 60%. and the average has been about 23%. But we kind of say, most people fall in that 15 to 25% range, and that's pretty accurate statement. So we kind of explained how the smart valve works and what the results are, expected results are going to be. So who can benefit from this solution? And again, residential homes from the smaller scale, absolutely. Typically, we tell people, if you're spending at least $100 a month on water and sewer, it's probably a good idea to look at putting the smart valve solution in. But you have your small commercial, think car washes, laundromats is a very big block for us in terms of potential customers. Restaurant, bars, we've even sold these in nail salons. Then you get to like your mid-range ones where you're talking about schools, apartment complexes, bakeries, food processing plants we've done that's on here, office buildings, but even on a very larger scale, pharmaceutical companies, stadiums, and there's so many more. There's really a lot of different opportunities to be able to, a lot of potential customers, let's put it that way, in terms of getting this solution and where it would make sense for them. Some of the larger corporations out there that have utilized this already, again, there's probably dozens more to this, but we wanted to put some on here just so you can see some of the more familiar ones that are out there. A lot of hotel chains, as you can see, pharmaceutical companies. We've even done some grocery stores. We've done food processing plants. So it's starting to pick up on a national level as well. It's becoming a more well-known solution out there to stay ahead of the rising costs of water and sewer. We have a lot of case studies. We also have engineering studies, testimonials, everything you need. There's a science behind it. There's some scientific quotations and so on. A lot of it's available on our website, but we wanted to put a couple up here real quick. The one on the left was an office building done in Texas. It was a 6-inch valve. They saw a 32% reduction in water sewer costs with a very quick return on investment. I believe it was like a 4 to 5 month return on investment. And then the one on the right here is a different office building. This was a 4-inch valve, about 38% savings. Payback was much less than 12 months. They also did the irrigation line, which is another part of this, because usually in these larger setups, there's also a separate metered irrigation line. And we've seen some really great results on irrigation. This one was over 40%. And again, very quick payback at 40% as well, which which most of these customers, it's one of their first questions other than the pricing. How fast and, what's the return on investment? It's very big in commercial, as many of you know already. This was one of the highest results that we saw. It was a company, a real estate group out in Michigan that purchased this 4-inch smart valve as a pilot. And again, we have many more testimonials. We just wanted to keep this simple here today. But as you can see, per the letter, the bill was between $8,000 and $13,000 on average over the previous 12 months. They reduced that down to around $4,000 a month by installing that, and ended up putting in another 50 or so valves throughout their properties up in the Great Lakes area there. We also, one of the things besides this new Platinum program we're rolling out today, we have other programs that we partner with on plumbers that I'll briefly touch on later on. But these are just a couple testimonials from some of our longtime partners that have been on programs of ours. Both the, again, we have a starter program, which is our basic program, then a premier, and then our VIP program. And these guys are both members of the VIP program. And as you can see here, and we can send you better copies of this if you can't read that from the screen, because it is a little small, but lots of testimonials. Guys are very happy, not only with the solution, but also how we go and really take pride in partnering up with you guys to bring the solution to your clients. So getting to the, we've talked about that there's a problem, rising cost of water and sewer. We talked about is there a solution out there for this? And also, how will capital actually benefit you, and what we do to partner up with plumbers like yourselves to help bring the solution to your clients. So I mentioned earlier the core values, and I just want to reiterate these before we get into the meat and potatoes, so to speak, of the new program. Boosting your revenue, making you a hero to your current customers, and helping you become the hero to pick up new customers, filling in the gaps in your schedule, and the fact that we're going to handle everything, every step of this to bring this job to you and get these solutions put in to help your clients. So talking about revenue, as I mentioned a few seconds ago, we have multiple programs. Um, we like to customize and basically recommend the program that's going to work best for you and suit what your ambitions are. Whether you're a one-man shop plumber or you've got 25 trucks on the road every day, obviously each thing is going to, depending on where you want to bring your business and how we fit into that part, that's going to be where we decide on the program. But again, the platinum program really is a game changer because it's something I'm not aware of anybody else ever trying before, and we're very excited about it. We can increase your gross revenue by 20% or more, whether you're making $100,000 a year or $10 million a year. There's a path to get there with this solution and our new program. We offer two versions of this program. One is going to be a no upfront cost option. The other one's going to be an annual fee, which I will explain more in detail. And I would imagine a lot of people will look at the no upfront cost one because that puts all the onus on us, and we're ready for the challenge of proving ourselves out and basically showing you that we can do this and become a asset to you under this program. Becoming a hero. For each potential customer that and as I mentioned, we're going to handle everything in this program, from explaining how this works to your customer. But one of the important things is we're going to work with every one of your customers and, number one, make sure that this is a good solution for them. Quantify it. Look, this is your current situation. This is what the expected results are for you. This is why it makes sense or why it doesn't make sense. It's not going to be a perfect solution for everybody, but we're going to do all that legwork. And we're going to work through their situation, meaning your customers, and see exactly how first, if it does benefit them, but if it does, why it makes sense, what their return on investment is going to be, break down, provide custom and quantified details to them. And we're going to do that on your behalf. So all this legwork, all the prep for it, the evaluation of the potential install site, everything we're going to do. But the most important part of this section here is that we're going to provide them a quantified solution to the rising water sewer costs, which is becoming a big concern, especially in commercial properties. You're going to be able to because you're becoming a hero and you're offering this solution, you're going to gain clients and not only get this job for your new clients, but it's going to also open up, obviously, other parts of their business to you. So by becoming a hero and bringing the solution to their doorstep, something your competition is not going to do, you're going to gain more, not only this job, but future business from these new clients that you're going to pick up. Also, you're going to get free client referrals. One of the programs we offer is, in your area, if you join this program, if we get inbound calls or inbound requests for the Smart Valve solution, we're going to try to pitch that with your job pricing. And we're going to get a little bit more into that in a few seconds. But even if they say, hey, I just want to buy a valve and I want to put this in or have somebody put this in, or can you recommend somebody to put a valve in for me, we're going to refer back to you. So this very much is a partnership across the board because we want to get it to where we're quoting job prices for you all day and all night. We were talking about providing a quantified solution. This is a very important graphic that we use in almost every single presentation. And why it's so powerful is, in this example, the client was paying them about $100,000 a year in water and sewer costs. So if you take a look here, by the time they get 10 years in, that cost is up to $155,000 a year. It's over a 50% increase in less than 10 years. But the other big visual here that really helps show the value of this solution is we give them what we call the good, the great, the extraordinary result. 10% savings would be good, 20% would be great, which also is the average, and that's why we highlight it. And then 30% would be extraordinary. So we not only show them how much they're saving in today's dollars, but we show them how that their savings actually increases over time because their costs are going up. And it's very powerful. And then especially, in this particular case, I believe the job cost them for the valve and the installation about $20,000. I think it was a little less than that, actually. So their return on investment was probably about 10, 11 months at 20%. But again, it makes this much easier for us and shows the true value when I can say to a client, or one of your potential clients, I should say, we're asking you to spend $20,000 today. And over the next 10 years, by doing that, you're going to save over $250,000 if you save the average amount. So that makes things very, it really quantifies the reasoning behind implementing this solution. Filling in the gaps in your schedule. And again, I know a lot of you guys are very busy, and many of you, I speak to plumbers almost every single day. And, one of the things I always hear is, well, we don't have enough manpower to even keep up with the workload. That being said, if you have 30 work or 25 work days in a month, let's say, most guys I speak to have that one day where maybe it's a Monday, or well, probably not a Monday, but maybe like a Wednesday or a Thursday where for some reason there's only a few jobs on the schedule. So having this additional solution in your pocket, not only, as I mentioned, will open up new doors, make you become a hero and increase your revenue, but it's also a gap filler, because it's not like any other call you're going to get. You probably 90% of the calls you guys get on a daily basis are basically, hey, my water heater is leaking, or my sink is leaking, or I need to change my toilet out, or my flapper's stuck, or the supply line burst in the bathroom. And it's one of those things where you have to get out there, and if you don't get out there right away, somebody else will. This is something where we can, and part of our process is we'll actually schedule this for you if you choose. You could say to us, hey, Mike, we want to schedule these jobs on the third Tuesday of every month. We want to leave that day open just for Smart Valve Solution installs. And we'll actually schedule it for you ahead of time. We'll work with the customer, say, listen, we're looking at an install date of June 29th at, what time is good for you? And we'll handle that for you as well. So not only are we going to market and promote and answer all the questions about this, but we're also even going to schedule the job for you if you choose. You may say, Mike, let's wait till we get the check and then we'll schedule it. But we offer that as part of what we bring to the table for you. Maximizing your productivity by eliminating the downtime. You guys can be busy as heck 90% of the time, but if you have that off day, you're not maximizing your downtime. And this is something that can help with that. Also, if you have guys, the larger commercial, you probably want at least 2 guys on the installation. But you may want to go 3. You basically can manage your workload as well for your installers. You could always send a 3rd guy to a job, make it go a little quicker. So it gives you some flexibility there by implementing a program like this. Biggest part of this program, obviously, and what makes it a game changer, is that we do handle it all. Everything from the marketing to addressing their questions and concerns, assessing and evaluating their property, gathering the relevant pictures, identifying an installation spot if they're going to move forward, getting the data, the water bills, the incoming PSI to the property. Does anything have to be moved? We're also going to identify, is there a bypass, for example, and obviously that's going to play into where you price these jobs out. Is there a bypass, or do I have to shut the building down? We're going to find all this and do all this legwork and find all this out for you, and then we're going to, based on how you want the pricing to be, we're going to price the job out based on a range that you propose. So we're going to do all of that. Then we're going to create a custom proposal and close this on, like, as I said, on the terms that you want us to stick in. We're going to ask for a guideline of where do you want your pricing to be on a low end and a high end. And of course, we're going to shoot for the high end, but we want that range so we have a little flexibility and we're able to close the deal for you. And basically, the only part of this that you have to do is collect the payment and do the installation. And that's it. We're going to handle pretty much everything else. And again, we can even include the scheduling side of that in there as well. So to sum up the two, we said, as I mentioned, we have 2 versions of this program. So the no upfront cost PPP program. As I mentioned, we market, evaluate, sell, schedule your clients for the Smart Valve installations. Once we're scheduled, then you get your deposit I imagine most of you will take a deposit for commercial clients. We would invoice you for the cost of the Smart Valve. Now, being on this program, you're going to get a 20% discount off of the MSRP pricing. We also would take, because there's no upfront cost in this, we would take 10% of the job price as a fee for us doing this for you. But again, it's nothing out of pocket unless we actually close the job for you. One of the questions and one of the concerns we've had as we started to look at this as a solution was, what happens if, we work with one of your customers and they decide to self-install the valve. For example, we're actually going through this right now. We have a hospital that's looking at putting in multiple valves to their property, but they say, hey, we have the plumbers on staff. Well, we're going to instead charge them the MSRP pricing and send you 15% of that. And then in reality, you're getting a referral fee for doing absolutely nothing because we're handling everything else. So if we do run across that where they say, hey, I know ABC Plumber told you to contact me, but we don't need them to install this. We're going to self-install, or what, for whatever reason, you don't get that job, you still are a partner of ours, and you're going to get a cut of the job for doing absolutely nothing but sending over the information for your potential client. So that, I think, is also, we want to make sure that you're compensated whether you get the job or not. But of course, it makes sense for all of us if we're pushing for you to sell them the valve and also get the installation, obviously. And that's what we're striving for. But we do recognize that we're not going to sell everybody on that. And it may make a lot of sense for them to self-install if they have the manpower. But we still want to make sure that you're compensated for that. Under the annual program, and I would imagine a lot of you will start with the no upfront cost and then transition over to this because it makes more sense for you. It's a $3,000 a year cost. And basically the way it works out, and we can actually, I'll explain some numbers in a second here, is you're going to make about on a $15,000 job price. For example, if we were looking at a valve that costs, let's say, $10,000 and your job price was $15,000 all in, you're going to make about $1,000 more per job by being on this program. So really, when you get to the point where you feel like we're going to close at least 3 a year for you or more, this is when you would transition to this program because it makes more sense. Why does it make more sense? The discount becomes higher. You get a 24% discount under this program, and we only take 6% of the job price as a fee for actually doing all the work I mentioned before. Also, if the client decides to self-install, you get a bigger percentage of that. You get 18% for that. And so if you send us a customer and we close them, but they say we're going to self-install it, we're still going to pay you 18% of the MSRP. So you get even a higher percentage as a referral fee. The other key part of transitioning to this program, to the annual cost program, is we're going to identify where your territory is. What areas do you cover within reason? You can't say, oh, I cover the whole Northeast. Now, well, unless you have 100 trucks on the road, you can't say you cover the whole Northeast. But within reason, we're going to say, what counties do you focus in within New Jersey or New York or wherever you're located? In those areas, if anybody contacts us directly about the Smart Valve solution, we're of course going to say, hey, ABC Plumber here is one of our preferred partners on our Platinum program. Let's give you a price based on a complete installation and cost of the valve. We're going to try to push that. And then everything here would still apply. We would sell you the valve, we would give you a 24% discount, and we would take back 6% of the job price. But if they just purchase a valve from us, and these are people that are not your customers, they are not on any list that you give us or anything like that. If they are not your customer and they just call in because of marketing we've already done, we're going to give you a referral fee because they're in your area. So even though you have nothing to do with this person who's calling in, we're going to first try to sell them on a job price with you installing it. But if they don't go for that, if they say, we just want to buy the valve and that's it, we're going to still keep you as a partner in that transaction, even though you have absolutely no ties to it. So you're going to make 10% on every valve we sell in the areas you cover, which I think is a huge thing because, we value you as a partner. So we want you to be part of that, even though you don't directly have any ties to it. So it's very much makes this program very attractive. And once you feel comfortable, I would suggest every plumber transition over to this to the annual portion of it, because there's a lot more there and you get bigger discounts. We take less of a fee. And you're also getting a referral fee for every valve that we're selling within the areas you cover. And that is pretty much all I had today. I did want to, as I mentioned before about actually one thing I did forget to mention was from a residential standpoint, for the plumbers on the call that are just handling residential, maybe you don't do commercial, you can still join the program. There will be a fixed fee per valve. Basically, you get a 25% discount on residential under the program, and basically we can sell those jobs for you. Um, but we would just take a fixed fee for each, depending on the size, either 3/4 inch or 1 inch. We would take a fixed fee for each job we sell for you on that. It's probably going to be about $100. So a lot of guys will install these for $600, $700, maybe 8 or 9 if it's a 1 inch. But that's kind of where that goes. And also, if you take a stocking position and purchase, enough to cover all your trucks, you're also going to get a bigger discount on that as well. So that pretty much is all I had today. I thank everybody for coming on, and I hope you guys really were here. You can see our website below and also our phone, our contact phone. Happy to discuss this further. I'm sure there's still some more questions out there, but feel free to contact us, give us a call, send us an email, come to our website. On the bottom of our website, there's a page. If you look at the VIP Plumber program, which is one of our current programs, there's a form to fill out. If you want us to contact you directly, you can fill out that form on our contact page. And basically, it's just some basic information about your business, your name, address, phone number, email. What type of business do you do? Residential? Do you do commercial? How many trucks do you have on the road? It's just so we can get an idea of what your business is about, and then we can always have a conversation about it. So I really hope a lot of you take advantage of this program. I think it's a real game changer because everything is on us. If we don't do what we say and we don't close these jobs, you don't lose anything out of it. There's no upfront cost. But if we do, it's going to be a very profitable situation for everybody. It's very much, this program is a win-win-win. It's a win for the customer because you're solving their issue of rising water sewer costs. It's a win for you because you're picking up potentially a new client, or you're becoming a hero for your current client, all while adding to your bottom line. And of course, it's a win for us too, because we're partnering up with a plumber like yourself and picking up a new customer, and of course making a sale. And that's, the best solutions out there are the ones that benefit everybody. And I really believe the Smart Valve solution is that. And I and everybody here are very excited about this program, and we look forward to going to work with you on it. So thank you again for your time, and I appreciate everybody taking the time. And please reach out to us if you have any questions, and we look forward to partnering up with you soon. Have a great day. Enjoy your 4th of July weekend, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.